Oh, I'm not live. Okay, right, I'm still going. Here we go, now I'm live.
Oh my god.
Hello guys, welcome to the latest video from Tier List. Latest Tier List video. And today, I am, with a few people on this video, going to be reviewing the train operating companies of the UK and the brands. So, okay, here we go. Right, so let's quickly introduce today's guests. Just to let you know, this one will be a bit quicker than the last one because the other one was absolutely horrific in terms of how long it lasted. So thanks to the amount of EMU trains we had to review and the amount of times that people were telling stories. So we're going to try and avoid that this time. So we have, I'm keeping an eye on the live chat and I'm hoping a couple of mods will be here to keep an eye on it too. But yes, I am streaming only this tier list because it's better to do it live because in case we get to a deadlock on something. So, so this is the TOCs one. So we're going to be looking at the good points, the bad points, and then the overall rating of that TOC in each person on this video's opinion. But it has to be a quick, just sort of run over, maybe a couple of minutes each, maybe not even that. Probably like a minute, or even less than that. Of just it doesn't really matter as long as it's quick. Of the good points, the bad points, and the overall rating of that TOC/brand. So joining me in the video today is Super Albs Travels. Hello, Albie.
Gamarjoba.
Yes, Albie. We've got Dan from the Victoria to Gillingham video. Hello, Dan. Sullivan.
Hello, me, Dan.
And we've got a different Dan on here as well. We've got Dan, what's your channel name? DP
Travel and Transport.
DP Travel and Transport. So these three I thought would be really good. Albie and Dan are quite good, and DP as well. I'm just going to say DS and DP just so I know which one's which. So it'll be easier. So we'll get straight into it. Just like I said, good points, bad points, and then an overall rating out of 10. And whichever rating gets the most, we will then put it in that one. So let me just run over the criteria very quickly. If the TOC in your view in the overall view gets either a 1 or a 2, it goes in trash. If it gets a 3 or a 4, it goes in poor. If it gets a 5, it goes in good. Only 5. If it gets a 6, a 7 or an 8, it goes in great. And if it gets a 9 or a 10, it goes into amazing. So there we go. So let's begin. The first company that we're going to be reviewing today is LNER. So LNER, I'll go first. So we'll go around the table. So we'll go me, Albie, DS, and then DP right at the end. So my opinion. So good points of LNER. So the good points they've got is that they run very good in City 225 trains. Very comfortable, very enjoyable, very fast. Cover a lot of miles in terms of where they go. They've done a lot since going into nationalisation for MV Tech. And I think that in general, with that side of things, that's a good point. Bad point is they brought in bad trains. They brought in the Zoomers, which were pretty uncomfortable. The announcement system's okay, but that's only a little thing. But the overall feel of LNER, I suppose, is pretty good. The only bad point I would say is that the fact that when they brought in a Zoomers, it was a downgrade from the HSTs, and I don't think they ever should have got rid of them, because that's just my view. Because they did really well with LNER. They just had some brilliant. They covered so many miles of it with HSTs, and the Zoomers are just unreliable. So that's my overall view. In terms of like just everything else, I think the route coverage is good. I think they're pretty much, when they're delayed, it's not necessarily always their fault because they're on a high-speed line. It's very difficult. But overall, I think that they're a good company. So I'm going to give them a 9 because I do think that there's that little bit that I think that they don't have, which is, like I said, the Zoomers, but that only means a small detail. So 9. Albie. So good points, bad points, overall rating.
Good points. We'll go good points first. So they do have a fleet of some good trains, but they seem to be hell-bent on getting rid of every single good train and replacing it with Moving on to the bad points, replacing it with a very, very bad train. Awful. As such, I can't give them any more than a 3. At least they have a buffet, so I think I'll probably give them a 3 because they have terrible trains, I'm afraid.
Okay. DS.
Actually, they also have nice food if you pay for first class, but I think you should be able to buy their meals in second class, like everywhere else in the world. That would be a good idea.
Fair enough. Okay.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, DS, your go. Good points, bad points, overall rating.
Okay, good points. They are always advanced with their technology. So at the moment, with this current situation, they were one of the first operators to put in reservation only to space out with social distancing rules. They've always been that one step ahead of everyone on the technology side, I feel. Yeah, pretty much the same as you. And Albi, they have got some good trains. Bad points. Azuma, big no. Big no. I've done one all the way to Scotland. It was a big no. It was awful. They're the worst trains ever. The seating is just like the Great Western ones. It's just awful. HSTs were so much better. Having done that route every year, all my life, going to Scotland to visit family, HSTs will never be beaten on that route.
I agree. That's a fact.
The only good side is, yes, they have a buffet, and yes, they brew their own ale. So if you like ale, they brew their own ale. Hop on board, which is very nice.
None of the viewer base is old enough, though.
Okay, so
overall rating, I am going to have to give it a 6.5.
Okay, so we just say 6, yeah?
6.5.
Okay, DP.
Well, I actually quite like the 800s, actually. That's a bit controversial, but I think the Hitachis are brilliant.
Everyone's entitled to their opinion now.
Doesn't mean we can't laugh at it.
Okay, so what would you... So what about... So if you just list it in good points and bad points, DP, what would you say?
I think they've got good trains. I think they serve good route. They've got the East Coast, brilliant. I can't really think of many bad points, really. I guess the only bad point I can think of is they're not really local to me.
Fair.
Give them an 8 out of 10.
Fair enough. Okay. So, what would you give them? What did you say? An 8, did you say?
8, yeah.
So I gave them a 9 because I really like them, but that's just me. Okay, so we're quite divided on sort of, because we said 6, so it's aiming towards the top half, really. It's in between amazing and great.
I'll change my rating to 4 because they do have food and they do have alcohol, and the alcohol is
okay. Well, I think just basing on what everyone said, most people said 6 and 8, so we'll put LNER in the great tier because that was what the majority said in terms of like rating and numbers. So LNER, it says NE, I know, oh well, on the great tier. So moving on, the next one, TransPennine Express. Right, good points. They have turned it around completely. I think that the new trains that they brought in, so the Nova fleet, barring the Nova 1s, are pretty good, actually. The Nova 2s, brilliant. 397s looking incredible, what they're doing. Going to Edinburgh, going to Glasgow. Complete and massive improvement from the 350s. Get to that in a minute. And and also the Nova 3s. Bringing the 68s in was a brilliant decision. And they look amazing in that livery. They really do. Although yellow fronts don't look great on all trains, I think the TransPennine absolutely nailed it with the 68. I think that they're very good for the routes that they serve because they serve a lot of busy places like Leeds, Huddersfield. Huddersfield being pretty much the centre of TransPennine, I think. But yeah, no, it's a brilliant company. Bad points though. Was their overcrowding problems. They have a massive problem with crowding and how when with the 185s, that's the problem I've got because they have so many overcrowding problems. Even with 6 cars, they still have it where they'll just crowd up everywhere and it will just you won't get a seat. The capacity is awful. Good job they got rid of the 350s because that was even worse. So yeah. That's my view, and on that basis, just saying because of the overcrowding problems and because it took them so long to deal with it, I'm going to give them a. I'm going to say they're good, so I'm going to give them a 5. Albie.
Right. Well, bit of a mixed bag, but on the whole, so the stock. So obviously the Hitachis are awful, obviously, because they're awful. No more needs to be said. The CAF stuff is pretty good. Of course, it's really, really uncomfortable, but the 397s are just really, really nice in general, except for the comfort, of course. 68s, love a 68. I'm glad they've also got rid of the yellow fronts because they are ugly. The 185 is very comfortable, but of course, poorly spec'd, really small, low capacity things. They look pretty nice on the whole. But some bad points, well, of course, you do have the whole Hitachi problem. You do have the whole not very comfortable problem. And also, there is a lot of price fixing or something to do with fares on quite a lot of their routes. They are exploiting their dominant position by raising the any permitted fare up to some exorbitant rate and then adding in their own fares, which just restricts passengers' journeys for a saving of like 10p, and well, it's just really misleading. So I don't really like that, but
So
I
you're
think
over
I'll be quite generous and say 7.
7. Okay. DS, you'll go.
Okay, pretty much the same level as you, Kieran. Yeah, some of their trains are the 68s I like. I don't know the Novas. I always get confused which Nova's which, so forgive me. I like the 68s, hate the 397s. I do hate the 397s. I've only had one ride on it, and it was awful. The ride quality of that train was just dreadful. At every point you went over, it was like bang, boom, 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 boom.
So what about Yep.
802 over. 802 is obviously rubbish. Very, very rubbish. Of course, Hitachi, as Albie said, all Hitachi is rubbish. Performance-wise, I have been cancelled so many times with TPE, and I've had so many letdowns with TPE. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't agree with Albie on the fares. The fares I find pretty decent.
No, it's not that they're overpriced. The advances are good, but it's just they've been doing a lot of fixes with the walk-up. I know the advances are good, though. I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, the walk-ups are okay on any TOC if you work on the railway. But we'll work on it.
Let's not get into that conversation. Just get to your overall rating.
Anyway, the good points was it has replaced the
350s. Yeah.
And the 185s, which were completely unsuitable for the route, and that's the only good side I think about them. So I'll probably say a 5, like you, Kieran, for them.
5. Okay, and DP.
Well, I think on the whole, TransPennine Express are very good. Obviously, they've got overcrowding problem. Personally, I really like the 185, so it's sad to see them go. I think they were, refurbished to a very high standard. I think it's really good, the new fleet, the new Novas. I love the 68, so yeah, I'm going to give them a 7.
Okay. Oh God, it's 5 and 7. Oh God, it's equal on both. Okay, so we've got 2 on 2. So, chat. What's your rating out of 10 for TransPennine Express? I'll just type it in here.
I have to agree with you, Dan. I do think that the upgrade they did was good on the 185s, but the train itself was completely unsuitable for the routes they were doing. They were doing routes that go through busy hubs, and there was only 3 coaches or 6 coaches. It was not enough coaches, not enough capacity.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Absolutely not enough capacity. The amount of times you see a TPE and you're like, right, I'm not going to get a seat, or you've got to be like, right, quickly, we've got to run to the train before we get, otherwise we won't get a seat.
7, 4, 6. Most people say 6, but I think as most people are saying 5, and we were split between the two, we'll go with good. So they're in number 5. So
yeah, both numbers mean the same. I think that's fair.
Okay. Let's move on. Next up is Merseyrail. So, right, I'll go first. I haven't had much experience with Merseyrail, but the experience I have had, they're very reliable. I've not had a problem with them. I think that their route, the places they go as far as Chester, they go to Southport, pretty good extensive coverage. They're pretty much on time. It's a really good metro company, to be honest. It runs all the way through Merseyside. So I don't have a massive quarrel with their performance and reliability. I think that delivery also is quite nice on their units. I'll get to that in a minute because that's a bad point. But I think that overall, the reliability of the service, albeit bumpy in terms of like the ride, is pretty good. Bad points, their stock is horribly out of date. Their new stock couldn't come sooner because the 507s and 508s have had their time. Their interior is not very good. It's very basic. It's very dirty, very bumpy, like I said, and very uncomfortable. So, yeah, that's purely one of the reasons I would say I don't like the stock. The 777s, again, I'm not too sure how they look. I mean, looking at them, I'm not a great fan, but we'll have to see how that comes along in the future. So overall, I'm going to give Merseyrail a 4. That's my rating. So, Albie.
Merseyrail, difficult to complain about because simply, I mean, they just got their one fleet of trains. Don't care if the numbers are different, it's the same fleet. They're not very good, but as a service, it's frequent. It's hard for it to go wrong. It's cheap. Obviously, the livery's bad, but I mean, it's cheap. It's great for the Liverpool metropolitan area. The only downside is the stock, so I'll probably have to go with. And of course, the stock's getting upgraded to fantastic new Stadler things, which represent the the Belarusian Minsk metro trains. So I'm going to have to say probably a 9.
A 9. Okay, DS, your go.
Okay, I have to disagree with both of you about the train. I do like the 507s, 508s. They're brilliant. Apart from the seats are a bit uncomfortable, but I do like them. Merseyrail company, brilliant. Never had any problems with them. They've got a guard on each train. For a metro service, they've got a guard on each train, which is quite rare nowadays. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have many bad words to say about them. So I'm going to give them straight a 9.
Okay, a 9. And DP.
I haven't been on Merseyrail, so I can't really say on this one.
Okay, well, it looks like they're going in amazing then because Albie and Dan have both said 9 and I said 4 because I don't agree with either of them. But there you go. You can just about see the fading in there, but Merseyrail is up there and amazing. So it's not very clear, but oh well, it's because it blends in with the colour. Moving on, we've got one in amazing, one in great, one in good. Next up is Avanti West Coast. Right, I'll begin. So to be honest, the livery for a start, I actually quite like it. Just me though, the Pendolino really suits it. It looks very corporate though, and it kind of does. What do you mean? Is that it? It looks a little bit corporate. I think that's probably a what?
That's the end. He just likes delivery. 10 out of 10.
No, I haven't finished. I haven't finished.
Really likes delivery.
I know I like delivery, but I think
calling Kieran.
Nothing else needs to be said. Just really likes delivery.
Hello, are you there? We were disconnected.
Delta Sierra calling Kilo Tango Victor. Do you receive me? Over.
Hello. Oh, hang on. Hello. Hi. Hello. Sorry. Hello. Sorry. Discord lagged me out. Let me finish. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Discord was being weird. Right. Let's carry on. So, like I was saying, the livery is good. It looks very corporate, and I think that suits the message that the brand that they have because of where they go. I think that they took. I don't like the fact that they've taken over Virgin, and I feel like that they have a really big boots to fill. So it's very early days to really rate them on that. But reliability-wise, it's relatively the same. I do think them getting rid of the Voyagers is a very good move, but I also think bringing in Hitachi is a terrible move. So I'm kind of equal on that because it's getting rid of a bad train and replacing it with a bad train. So not happy with that. So I'm going to just say, because I haven't, I think it was, I think it's going to have to be a 5 again for me because, again, I'm very split bang in the middle of them. Albie.
So I'll be 100% real. I've used them once ever, and that was Preston to Carlisle. It was like a couple minutes late. I found a seat. It was it's just a massively average journey, so difficult to judge. But I'll judge anyway because haha. Okay, so the livery is kind of dull, uninspiring. It kind of looks like another here today, gone tomorrow cowboy job because it's just a couple of vinyls stuck on a white background. Not really that good. The fleet at the moment, I can't really complain. Obviously, the Voyagers are much better than they used to be. The Pendolinos are, of course, pretty European in style, even not quite as good as them, but whatever. The replacement stock, I'm sorry, but it's terrible.
It's actually.
I will give them the benefit of the doubt because there have been rumours going around that they will have comfortable seats, but that's not all that's wrong with that absolute contraption of a train. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because it's all a bit hazy. So I'll just put them in the middle high because they've not managed to ruin it quite yet. I mean, there's been a few ruinings, but not completely ruined yet. So I'll put them in 6.
Okay. DS?
Okay, yeah, I've travelled with Virgin, Avanti, whatever you want to call them, quite a few times. A mixed bag, I really think. I do like the Voyagers. The Voyagers were okay. 390s, the Pendolinos. Yeah, then they're okay trains. They're not the greatest train around. The Loos, think of Loos.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
The Loos. Yeah. I'm trying to use other words. I don't want to say words.
Get to your points because we need to move on. Sorry to be rude, but
yes, you idiot.
Yes, you idiot. I'm kidding. Go on, carry on.
Right. Good side of Avanti is they have on 11-car trains. They have 11-car intercity trains, and they always have 2 unreserved coaches, which is brilliant for someone like myself who always travels on non-advanced tickets.
Walk-ups.
The cafe range, the bar range isn't bad. They have got quite a good range, and they've got meal deals, which you can have like a cheeseburger, a drink, and a chocolate for like $5.50, which I don't think is bad.
It's not co-op though, is it?
No, but I don't go supermarkets much. Anyway,
I know what you mean.
I'll give them probably about, let's say, a 7. A 7.
You're mad, mate. Okay. DP.
Avanti, not too bad. I mean, getting rid of Virgin, I think, is sad. In terms of the fleet, pretty poor. Voyager is terrible. Pendolino, just boring. So
I pretend you didn't say that. I'm joking. Go on.
So yeah, I think. But I mean, the service is pretty good when I went on them, so I'm going to give them about 5.
All right. Because 2 of us said 5. That's where they go. They go in the middle for now. Okay, moving on. CrossCountry. Right, here's a good one.
Oh dear.
Right, here we go. Right, let's jump on my soapbox. Horrible company. Right, I'm going to explain why. Right, good points. Right, the HSTs, absolutely fantastic trains. The Turbo Stars, absolutely fantastic trains. Both of them have very lovely ride quality, albeit the Turbo Stars have massive overcrowding problems. Stansted, wait, what? And they do have some big issues with, not big issues, but They've
KV's big issue is that he's disappeared.
here we go again.
Again.
Hang on. I'm sorry. Discord keeps lagging me out. Right. The big issue is that I'll come to that in a minute. That's the big issue. The Turbo Star's great ride quality. The HST's fantastic trains, albeit you don't see them much, but they're really comfortable and fun to ride on. And the cross-country Turbo Stars are actually quite nice for the interiors, albeit a little bit dirty, a bit messy, so that lets it down. The bad points, Voyagers, awful trains. The fact that they use them on most of the long-distance routes is actually an insult, because it's massively overcrowded. Mostly like when you go from Plymouth or Penzance to Scotland. It's Bournemouth is also bad. Like if you go to Manchester, it's also bad. Pretty much when you go anywhere on a Voyager with cross country, it's really bad. The interior, albeit when Virgin had theirs before they went to Avanti, right? Cross country just did nothing with them. In fact, they've got loads of things in there that you just do not understand. Like, what the hell is that remote in between the seats? Seriously. It's ridiculous.
It was an old radio.
It is literally just copy and paste Virgin. It's awful. Anyway,
That's how they came.
like I said, another big issue of theirs is the overcrowding, because a lot of their routes, like into Manchester, towards Bristol to Taunton's really bad. Cheltenham to Birmingham's quite bad. Especially like Derby to Sheffield, over to Leeds is awful. And probably over to Reading is quite bad as well. But pretty much anywhere you go with cross country, you're going to be standing up on a Voyager. It's awful. So therefore, on my view, a 1. I do not like them. Anyway, right, carrying on. Albie.
Yeah, well, it's difficult. I never have a busy journey on them, to be honest. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I don't really use them except for on the latest and earliest trains of the day. Obviously, their XCHS. Why do I have to say XC? Obviously, their HST trains are stupid, wasn't it? Are the best in their fleet. The new doors are brilliant. I mean, let's be honest, they never should have been built with the original doors, as fun as they are. But oh well. Yeah, brilliant interior. The Voyagers better than they were. I mean, ignoring the obvious problems with the whole fleets being not particularly suitable, except for 5 of them, the HSTs, I would say they're pretty good. I mean, they have their problems like the advanced overdose and the 10-minute reservations, which really have no place at all. I mean, they don't go out of their way to cause trouble like most of the other companies do. I think I'll probably put them in the middle, and I'll just say a high middle 7.
Okay. DS.
Okay, I have to completely disagree here. I think cross country aren't too bad. I've had bad experiences. I've had good experiences. The Voyagers are good trains, but they do become overcrowded. HSTs obviously are the best. I don't agree about sliding doors. I think the sliding doors make them look a mess. And the HSTs were built to have the slam doors. And if people weren't such
Typical window hanger.
Yeah, then they're safe to use. I'm going to go on to the radio. The radio in the middle was from when they were with Virgin. There was too much cost to run the radio, so they were derelict and weren't used. But I remember when they first put them in, the radios did work, and you used to listen to FM radio on the trains with your headphones. But obviously, with the technology now, most people stream and that, so it's no longer required. So that's why that's derelict there. They've got the longest train journey in Britain, Aberdeen Penzance, 1 Victor 60, which is brilliant to do. I've done it 3 times, and I highly recommend it.
Put me out of my misery.
Yeah, the only thing is, obviously, they go cross country. They're hitting busy congestion bottlenecks, so they are going to run late. Reservation, as Albie said, 10-minute reservation is a bit of a pain in the bum, because of you can sit down 1 minute and then 10 minutes later you've got to give up your seat because someone's done the reservation and you're on a busy train as it is. But yeah, I don't mind cross country, and I'm going to give them a 8.
Okay, lastly, DP. Let's make this quick because we're going to move on.
Okay, where should I start?
Anyway,
CrossCountry are awful. I mean, they are just the worst train company I've ever been on. Voyages, disgusting, awful. I can't really describe it. Voyages are just they should be scrapped. End of. Overcrowding, yucky, dirt,
Yeah.
just disgusting service.
So
Um,
so what would you give them out of 10? Because we gotta move on.
So I'm gonna give them. If I could give them a 0, I would. But yeah, just
All right.
0 for me.
Well, they're going up in, unfortunately for me, because it's the majority in what Dan and Albie have voted, they're going up into great. Yay, us.
yay, well done,
Yes.
Dan Sullivan.
Feel like crying. Anyway, right. It's all based on majority, though. Right, moving on. Next up. Caledonian Sleeper. Right. I've had one experience on them. We're going to try and speed this up a bit. So I've had one experience on their trains, and I have to admit it was on their old stock, the Mark twos, Mark threes, Mark twos,
Room, so it's a Mark 3.
Mark three. Yeah, that was it. Couldn't remember. They just looked like Mark twos for some weird reason. Anyway, so when I got on there, I actually had a really pleasant experience. Albeit the old stock doesn't have plug sockets in the most convenient of places. So I didn't like that. I thought my experience with Caledonian Sleep, though, the customer service they gave, the overall welcoming experience, the welcoming feel, the joy of being there was actually really nice. The disappointment that I have with Caledonian Sleeper is the failure and the constant letting down of their Mark Fives, especially the big Edinburgh gate when that happened, when they went and overshot through Edinburgh. Who remembers that? That was a joy. But so they've had proved unreliable. They have been faulty. They've been late. But they do cover a lot of ground, and they give anyone who wants to pay for it a really nice experience if you go along on the Caledonian Sleeper. So the way that they've performed and everything that they've done, I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 because they are actually a really nice company. And they're very welcoming. So I absolutely love them. They're one of my favourites in the UK. Albie.
Well, okay, so please watch my video. That is all. No, I'm joking. So I've used a lot of sleepers. The Caledonian Sleeper is definitely up there with the top. However, that's top in quality, but there are still problems because they are too overpriced. They've reduced the capacity too much. And the thing is, that makes an essential service for the region unaffordable. So whilst the service is very, very nice, I do have to dock points for what they've done for the essential government-funded service. So I'm just going to put them in at 7 or 8. It doesn't really matter because they're the same category.
Okay. DS? Oh.
Dan,
Oh, me, sorry.
Oh.
I thought you said yes.
That's a DS, not yes.
Right, okay, sorry. Caledonian Sleeper. Now, I've got many and many experiences on the Caledonian Sleeper. And I have to be honest here, the old stock was a bit dated. But the quality of the berth was pretty good. You got what you paid for. The lighting was okay inside. You could have it all pitch black if you wanted it to be. The downside was when they did have sharing berths, that was a big no, and I did not travel much with them then. I could not think of anything worse than to share a berth with someone you don't even know. So I'm glad they got rid of that. Yes, it was a bit dated. As I say, they retrofitted it to have plug sockets in the end, like USB sockets. And yeah, it was a nice experience. And the lounge car on the Mark IIIs was just lovely. It was so dimmed light. The seats were like a sofa, so you could sit down, have a drink.
Did you just say dimmed light? Okay, never mind. Let's carry on. Dimmed. Anyway, cool. So what would you give them out of 10?
The Mark V's, absolutely rubbish. Completely rubbish. They're cold, the air conditioning's cold, the bar area, the seating is awful, hard, the lighting is not very good, and if you go with an ensuite, the water runs out too quickly, and it is by far not worth the full fare that they charge up to £400 for. But staff, everything are great, and overall, I am satisfied with the Caledonian Sleeper, so I'm going to give them an 8.
Okay, and DP, lastly you.
Yeah, I think the Caledonian Sleeper has improved a lot, especially Serco have improved it from first. I think the Mark 5s are a big upgrade to the Mark 3s. Mark 3 is very dated. And I think the Mark 5s provide 21st century travel. So, yeah, I would give them an 8 for me.
Okay, so they go up in grades alongside LNER and CrossCountry. Next up is...
I do not agree with CrossCountry being above Avanti.
Yeah.
CrossCountry should not be above Avanti.
I agree with that, but there you go. It's just down to majority votes. So remember, it's not down to what we think. It's down to who votes the most and what tier the numbers represent. Anyway, so C2C up next. Now I have to say this is probably one of the most reliable companies in the UK because their network is completely isolated. Because they run on a network that doesn't coincide with any other network unless you go via Stratford, and even then it doesn't even coincide with it for less than 20 minutes. It only goes in there for like 5 to 10 minutes. It's brilliant. So that's why they're reliable. They're a very good TOC. The 357s are very dated in my opinion and do need an upgrade. But they are good for the general commuter because that's what that line, the LTSR, is for. I think that they serve a good amount of areas. They're going over into Essex. It's an Essex line. And I think that the scenery on some bits is actually lovely on the actual route coverage on when you ride with them. And they're extremely reliable. The only disappointment I have is that they waste stock because they've got 387s and they hardly even use them. Like, what's the point? That's one of the things I don't like about them is because they waste stock. Like the 387s could be somewhere else whereas C2C could just use 357s. I know they're getting new trains in soon. What is it? Was it 720s? Am I right in saying that? Or am I wrong? Is it something else?
Doesn't matter. Carts, aren't they?
But yeah, no. C2C are a very good company. My experience with them has been good. I've never had a problem with them. They're very busy at times, but what's that with any company? So for me, the only disappointment I think is just that they waste stock too much, and I think that the capacity is good and they make the right decisions with all of that. So I don't have a quarrel with them, to be honest. So it's another 10 out of 10 company for me. Albie.
Yeah, so like Merseyrail, it just exists. It gets its job done. There's nothing really to complain about. So, yeah.
711s, that was it. 711s, that's a new train. Sorry, go on.
I'll just say top tier, to be honest.
Top tier. Okay, DS?
Also, I don't think there is a 711. It's just a new subclass of 720.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, okay. DS?
Yeah, C2C. Don't travel on them much, but I've had all the times I've travelled with them, no problem. Like you say, they're an isolated route. I don't mind the 357s. I think they're pretty suited for the role. They run 12 cars. The seats are comfortable. There's plenty of space in there. On the refurbished metro stock, the 357 metro stock -3s, they've allowed more space for people to stand, so it caters for the commuter. The 387s. Yeah, they could be used more, but their primary base was to fill up a gap in the commuter service. So the workings they do are purely based for commuters. But yeah, no problem at all. So I'll give them a 10.
And DP? Lastly, quickly.
Yep, I think they're pretty good. I'm looking forward to the Avantras. I think they will be an upgrade.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they are pretty good. Do what they do well. So I'll give them a 7.
A 7, did you say?
7, yeah, 7.
All right, well, I think they go top because most people said they would belong in the top tier. So they go with Merseyrail in the top tier. C2C. Well, nice one. Right, we're going to move on to a brand next. A brand of West... So we did say this title of the video is TOCs and brands. So next up is London Northwestern Railway. So this is the brand of West Midlands trains. So one of the sub-brands. I think that they their livery is horrible for a start. It really doesn't suit the 350s. I'll just leave it at that. However, barring that, the 350s are very good trains, and they do operate to a very good standard on most routes. And I think that they've done well to combine services like London Euston to Liverpool and to Rugeley to allow for the electrification as well, which is really, really good. Because it's good to have more links with London, and they've helped that. It's also a very good, cheap option to get to places, albeit they stop everywhere. And the 350s really aren't too bad. Interior-wise, trains aren't to the best of the standard when they have the subclasses. So I can't remember which one it is that has the 3+2 seating.
352.
The 352s, that was it. They're not very good, and some of the allocations they have, or I know it's not necessarily, I know it's unavoidable sometimes, but the fact that you can have a 3+2 seating on a service into London is pretty unacceptable, to be honest. It should always be 2+2 with tables, because that should be the journey if you're going from Birmingham. Because if you're a commuter, you'd want somewhere to rest your laptop, you want somewhere to do your work. It should always be like that. So that's a letdown for me. 319s, so the other trains they operate, and they do St Albans, and also, of course, the 230s. Interesting trains as well. But yeah, the branch lines are pretty good. 230s are an interesting little addition to the Marston Vale, and the 319s have always been pretty reliable on the Elvins Abbey when they're actually running and not faulty.
Doesn't sound like reliable then.
Well, not very reliable then. Okay, I'll regret that. But yeah, the 319s do have their problems, but the 230s are a nice little addition. Very controversial though. So overall, I'd give them a 7, I think, because there are bits that I think that they could do better. So I'll finish there. Albie.
Shit! Wow, it caught me off guard. It's kind of hard to say because it's just kind of identical to the other company. I can't really reference. I mean, they don't like. I mean, they're not really very. I can't really say anything about them because, I don't really know.
Okay, right. We'll move on then. DS.
No. I'll just put them in the middle, I guess, because I mean, if I don't put them high enough, then Hassan will probably come and stab me. So.
Yes, he probably will.
6 because they just kind of exist. They kind of have some. I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
DS, your go.
Oh, well, what can you say about them? It's a boring route, just stopping at every single stop on the West Coast main line to Birmingham or Crewe. The trains are pretty boring, apart from the 319s and the 230s. Yeah, I don't have much to say about them. They're just, not my ideal choice. I wish the 319s did a bit further. 319s to Crewe would be better than a 350, but hey ho. I'll go maybe a 6.
Okay, and DP.
Yeah, I've travelled with London Northwestern Railway quite a lot. I think West Midlands trains as a whole is almost like a competitor. It's almost like it's almost compared to Southwestern Railway, similar to that in a way, with your regional and your commuter. I mean, the 350s are really good. I think it's sad that the -2s are going. It would be nice for them to obviously be refurbished with 2 and 2 seating.
Yeah.
I think London Western Railway do a good job, and it's nice to see the Mark 1 units getting refurbished internally, as well as getting corrosion repairs as well. So I think they are pretty good. So I'm going to give them a 9 because I don't have a problem with them.
Okay, so I've said 7. Albie, you said 5. Dan, what did you say? What was your rating?
I think I said 6.
You said 6. DS, what did you say?
6.
6. And you said 9. Okay, so we're going to put them in greats because that's pretty much where they're going. Because I said 7, you two said 6, so there you go. Next up is Greater Anglia. Okay, so my opinion of Greater Anglia is actually quite... I don't know. It's a very mixed bag because, I mean, there are some very, very good bits involving the Stadler trains that have been introduced. They are incredible, incredible trains, and what a brilliant decision it was to bring in some amazing trains from Switzerland into the UK. Swiss trains really are really nice, and it's one of my favourite countries, so I'm so glad they got them. They are really good, and I'm really glad they brought them in to replace the intercity sets, although the intercity sets were really also quite enjoyable to ride on. I thought the Stadler sets are a really nice change, and it's nice to say that a new train is actually good for once. So especially when it's replacing an intercity route to Norwich. In terms of like other trains, the 379s, really, like I've said before about the 379s as a whole, going to Stansted Airport doesn't feel like an airport train to me, and I feel like that they've massively underwhelmed with it, but I do think they get the job done. And the older stock as well, so the 321s, absolutely lovely trains. I love them, all the various liveries. The interiors are a bit shoddy, but the trains themselves are very enjoyable. The 360s, they're always really enjoyable, and the 317s are probably my least favourite out of them, but they are okay as well. So overall, I will probably say that I'd probably give it an 8, because performance-wise, they do get delayed. They do have their problems. I know that they have the 90 sets were very sluggish. They used to have trouble sometimes, but they weren't too bad when they were running in service. And I've never really had a problem with Greater Anglia either, so I'm going to give them an 8. There are some slightly bad points, like I said, about the 379s and the couple of like dated interiors with some of the trains, but they're okay. Albie.
What company is it?
Greater Anglia.
Oh yes. Yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they're the only ones. Well, they're the original ones who decided to look. Well, where shall we get our train? Should we get British junk, or should we go and get some proper Eurostock? So, my congratulations to them. As far as their operations go, they don't do anything dodgy. That's good. Some of the stock is pretty clapped. The 321s are pretty clapped in particular. 315s, when they had them, very clapped. 360s, 379s, good. But of course the Flirt's absolutely perfect. I can't give them too much of a high score though, because a lot of stuff does go wrong. But I like them a lot, so I'll say 8. Also, the 0400 from Stansted to London from London to Stansted on a Sunday morning is declassified first.
Oh, lovely. Okay. DS.
Yeah, Great Anglia. I've got no problems with them. They replaced a good train to another good train. They were a bit delayed coming in, but that's to be expected. A lot of new trains get delayed. The 156s are not what they had before. They were a bit unsuitable for some of the routes. It was great when they had the 37 sets, and for a short period of time, the 68 sets. They were always good fun to go and have a ride on. Yeah, I've had no problems with Greater Anglia, so I'm going to give them a 9.
A 9. Okay, and DP. Lastly, quickly.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I haven't travelled with them much, but I think the 90s are brilliant. It's sad that they're going, but they are being replaced with good stock. But yeah, I think they are good. I think it's a shame that the 360 haven't really been cared for, which is a bit of a shame. But I think the 360s are brilliant. So,
Okay.
But yeah, I think they're pretty good. So I'm going to give them a 7.
Okay, so it looks like they go up to great as well. Funnily enough, great for Greater Anglia. Albie, what did you give them in terms of a rating?
I think I said 8, but I would probably bump them up to 9 because I just realised I don't really have that many problems with them.
So 9. I'll probably bump mine up to a 9 as well because I think they are really good. So yeah, up to the top they go.
Good for them. Hope they enjoy it up there.
Right, next up, East Midlands Railway. Right. I don't. Again, a company I like. A company I don't have massive issues with. I think that their meridians are very enjoyable. They give the voyages at least a good name, albeit the rest of them being a bad name. Of course, we know why. But the meridians are the good luxury voyages, in my opinion, even in standard class. So, in terms of like the route coverage they do, I do think that the stock they're bringing in, the changes that they're making, are also very enjoyable, barring Hitachi. But of course, they're bringing in their own unique Hitachi units as well, which is quite interesting. So the 804s and the 810s, 810s, I believe, from what someone said. So I might be wrong there though. So I know the 804s are one of them. So, but yeah, they're bringing the 180s in, the 360s. They've got 170s coming in, but obviously the stock they've already got. So the 156s, the 158s, the dog boxes, although they're probably a bit dated, they shouldn't really be there now. I think that what East Midlands do is fairly good. East Midlands Trains was always a good company. East Midlands Railway have pretty much maintained that. They've got pretty good reliability. The HSTs, I forgot to mention them. Their interiors are very bad. I don't like them. But the engine, the VP185s, oh my god, incredible. But it's not about the train, it's about the company. Livery-wise, the purple livery is working. It's growing on me. But the old East Midlands Trains livery would always be the best, in my opinion. So for that, I'm going to fix that up and give them also a 9, because I think they are a very good company. Albie.
So current stock, the HSTs, I love the HSTs, very good trains, but the East Midlands ones, not really that good. Unfortunately, they're going to be the last ones out of London.
Yeah.
But bad interior, bad sounding engines. I mean, the MTUs just sound a hell of a lot better. They got more, well, they just sound better. Sorry, fact. Catering, not great, but in first class, if you're traveling on like one of the meal services, I've had that's quite nice. Never done it, but whatever. As for the future, well, they're getting those Hitachi carts, but they'll be awful. But again, I've heard rumours that there might be different, possibly usable seats. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be nice. 360s, very good things. 180s, fantastic. 170s, yeah, I guess they exist. So I'll probably just say, because I barely use them, because they don't really appear in my naughty list very often, so I'll just put them at like 7.
Okay. DS?
Yeah, no, I don't use AMR that much, but yeah, they're overall, all the times I've travelled with them, I've never had a bad experience. Meridians are good, HSTs are brilliant. I really like the low down seats they still have on the HSTs. I feel it's less claustrophobic. Yeah, no problems at all with them. I would give them a 9.
And DP?
Yeah, I think EMR are pretty good. I think the Meridians are basically the upgraded Voyagers. Never had a problem with EMR, and I think the 810s will be a great addition. So yeah, I think they are pretty good. So I'm going to give them a 9.
So Dan, where did you put them? Remind me. DS even, DS.
A 9.
9 as well. So they go up to amazing as well. Very good. Okay, next up. Gatwick Express. It's time for another brand. Right, okay. Right. They're a fairly basic service. London to Brighton, London to Gatwick. That's all you'll get. It's part of GTR, so it's already a fraud. So that's already a letdown with them. I can't wait for Albie's, although he's probably not going to say much. The ticketing on it is really, really bad. Because as you know, you can buy a ticket that... I'm using my fingers when I say this, so I'm using it loosely. You can buy a ticket that says Gatwick Express only, but technically... was it not Gatwick Express? Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, it's not Gatwick Express or whatever. But actually, you can use them because they're all part of the same company. So that's a really massive amount of false advertising and also very misinformed. So that's really, really bad, and that's not a great move from them. The 387s are massively uncomfortable. The 442s weren't any better. But the 387s are massively uncomfortable. The interior is very basic. I don't think it screams airport train to me. I don't see luxury when I sit on that. If I was a businessman going internationally to go to, I don't know, if I was part of the World Health Organization, I had a massive meeting over in another country and I thought, oh, I've got to take this train to Gatwick Airport. I would sit on there and thought, I'm not going to an airport. I must be going to the tip. Right. I do not. I don't actually. No, I don't like them. So they're part of GTR, so they're already greedy. So my opinion, I'm going to give them a 2, purely because the livery is quite nice. That's about it.
Yeah.
LB, your go.
Can we skip the LB?
No, we
0.
can't.
This service is illegal. It cannot go on. I will take them on in the courts when I have to, and I'll be very happy to do that, and I will document it. But anybody who has bought one of those restricted tickets or has chosen to pay more for one of the other tickets, you can get it refunded. Just get in contact with them. Just threaten them with the courts. You'll win every single time. Any ticket that says like Thameslink only, valid on it. Not Gatwick Express, valid. Southern only, valid. Any ticket that doesn't say like GWR only, for example, is 100% valid on that service. There's nothing anybody can ever do to refute that claim because it's 100% fact and legal. All you have to do is go and look at the contract. It's illegal. 0, possibly negative.
So in other words, 1. Okay, right, because that's the lowest we can go down to. Dan, DS even.
Love it. Love Gatwick Express.
Excuse me?
It's so nice just to get on a train at Victoria and not have to stop at all the stops like East Croydon, Burgess Hill, blah, 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 blah. You can go 2 stops, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and you're in Brighton. Brilliant. I like the 387s. I like the livery. The seats are tiny bit uncomfortable, but for a journey of no more than an hour, they're bearable. The journey is less than an hour max, and that is bearable. Most people go to the airport, of course. It's only 30 minutes to the airport. The only downside is that for an express train, it's only like 3 or 4 minutes difference to a southern train. But
Used to be
I really like them. I'm going to give them 10.
Okay, wow. And DP? Oh, is he there?
What a shame.
Oh, he's gone. Okay, right, moving on. Right, so they're going to go in 1 because I don't like them either. So, trash.
Love it.
Um,
They're going in 1 because I don't like them.
No, I don't like them either.
They're brilliant.
Well, me and Albie both agree that they're trash, so, you know. I gave him a 2, Albie gave him negative, so, you know.
You've got to pay to use it.
Anyway, next up is Grand Central. Next. Right. This is a company I actually really like. Grand Central are a really enjoyable company. You know, travelling on the 180s is a really lovely experience. The refurbished 180s are so lovely. The 180s are fantastic trains, so that already is really nice. They're open access as well, so to do the job that they have, I mean, I know that they're in a bit of difficulty at the moment because they've suspended all their trains because of COVID-19. But overall, I think that Grand Central are a fairly enjoyable company. The livery is really unique. I love it. They're a brilliant company. So 10 out of 10 for me. I don't have any quarrel with them. And the HSTs, when they had them, were also really good and also unique. The buffered power cars. So they were good too. Albie.
Yeah, it's good to see some competition. Fantastic fleet, nice livery, nice service. Obviously, if you just watch the latest review, or one of the latest reviews, you can see more of this. Plug, link in the description.
Nope.
Oh.
Carry on.
Okay. Don't know if I want to, but okay. Yeah, so I'll just put them in the top tier as well.
And DS.
Yeah, I absolutely like Grand Central. I love them. I had no problems with them. Yeah, the 180s, they're pretty good. The seats are pretty comfortable on the refurbished ones. The HSTs were obviously the best they had. It was a really nice livery. I think the 91s they've got now.
It's the 90s, yeah.
90s even. Sorry, it's been a long day. The 90s look very well in the livery, and I can't wait to go to Blackpool on one. So I'm going to give them a 10.
We've all given them a 10. So there they go, right at the top. Okay, next up. There's another GTR brand. And this time it's Great Northern. So, okay. They're not as bad as as the Gatwick Express brand. Of course, they're not as bad in terms of like fraud because their ticketing is a little bit different because they run on a different part of the network. So that's already a plus. The trains themselves, I don't have a massive quarrel with. I think the 365s are quite nice. The 387s are they're not great. They're kind of basic. Delivery is really basic. The interior is really basic. It's not very colourful. Doesn't really do much for me. But the good thing is that the 717s are actually really nice. They look lovely trains. I'm just glad they got rid of 313s because that, for me, if they had kept them, Great Northern would be a lot lower down in my rankings because the 313s, if you look at that livery, it was disgusting the way that they had just Great Northern platted on an ex-FCC thing. They had like graffiti, I don't know, vomit, beer, I don't know, probably someone's blood at one point as well on the side of the train. Absolutely disgusting. So yeah, no, I think overall I'm probably going to give them a 6 because I don't think that there's some bits of them that the 387s, obviously the 313s, that was a massive letdown. So yeah, 6 for me. Albie?
0, because it's the same company as the one.
Should we just skip you?
No, I'm being very
Yes.
fair.
Yes.
I give them a nice happy 0, because they, who are we actually talking about?
The Great Northern brand of GTR.
Oh yeah, what? Well, I don't even know what they operate. I mean, it's those 387 carts, isn't it? They're awful. Obviously fraudulent. 717s are nice, 365s are nice, but carts illegal. Blah 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 blah. 0.
Okay, DS.
I like Great Northern. I find them brilliant. You can go from London to Cambridge in next to no time. It's brilliant. It's non-stop. You don't have to sit there, do fast trains. You don't have to get on a train that stops every stop on the route. 387s, yeah, they're okay trains. The seats aren't comfortable that comfortable. But again, you're only going to be on a train for like an hour. Under an hour, it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, you haven't. It's not. If it was a long distance train journey, then it wouldn't be suitable. But for something that's an hour or less, I think they're okay. 3-on-3s. I just love the 3-on-3s. They sound
Oh my god! I swear you're just saying this to wind me up. Right, carry on.
No. I honestly do. I really like the 3-on-3s. The delivery at the end, when they were getting on a bit in time, just seeing a train that was just like falling to bits, and you could see it was just brilliant. I feel it was just 717s, yeah, not bad. Bit unusual at the front with the steps and inside, but yeah, okay. I'm gonna give them a 9.
Okay.
9.
So we're very split on this because I think they belong in 6, so I think they're in great.
Great. No, 6 is
6 is good. Sorry, no 5. This yeah.
I think,
Oh, go on. Oh, DP, you're back. Hello.
yeah, Discord lagged me out. Sorry.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Great Northern are a good company.
You mean a brand?
Oh, sorry, brand. Sorry, I was getting.
They're a company.
They're not a company.
Dan, let's not do this now. Right, brand. Carry on.
Yeah. So, Great Northern are good. They got good rolling stock, good stations, generally always on time. Don't have a problem with them. So yeah, giving them an 8.
Oh no. We're a bit split on this, so let's get some ratings. So, chat, it's your turn. Great Northern brand. Where'd you give it out of 10?
8 p.m.
Let's see what people say. Oh yeah, I've got to say, yeah.
Catania.
Let's have a look. So we've got some people are saying 8, some are saying 9, 8.5, 9, 5, 4. Most people are saying 9, to be honest. They're saying they're amazing. I wouldn't agree with that, but you know.
It's kart fans, eh? Oh, interesting kart.
Anything is better than CrossCountry.
I mean, I'm gonna concede, I think, and just say that they're probably just in good. in my view, but that's just me because I don't think that they're the worst trains in the world. But some people are saying they're in the great tier. Okay, let me just set the criteria because DS said a 9, so DP said 9. DS, what did you say?
9.
You said 9 as well, and I said.
That's 18 between us.
I said 6, and Albie. Okay, no, yeah, it's a majority, isn't it? Okay, so no, they go to. Oh wow, Albie's going to hate that. They go for an amazing.
Yes.
It's kind of cringe.
Right. Okay. Next up then is Great Western Railway. Right. Another local company of mine. Right. Okay. Well, I do think that on a lot of aspects, Great Western Railway are a very good company. I think a lot of the trains they operate, so the 2+4s were a very good initiative when HSTs were decommissioned from going on 2+8s. So the 2+4s are a nice initiative, adding capacity, adding good long distance services to Cardiff and Penzance. So good connectivity all the way in between that. 150s, very well refurbished. Seats are a little bit uncomfortable, but they're not bad. 158s, bit of a downgrade from the old FGW livery. Turbos, bad move in my opinion, because they got moved to Bristol, and that was a terrible idea. What else have we got? Oh yes, IETs. Right, that's the disappointing bit. Have I forgotten the train? Yes, I have. Pacers. Yeah, they're not too bad, but they're the better Pacers out of them all. Yeah, IETs. Right. Diabolical, as we know, Hitachi. But Great Western Railways ones just have something about them that, like this is the thing, right? I think the livery when they were the first company to bring them in, so I was very, the jury was out with me when I first had a look at them. But sitting on them constantly when you do long distance trains to Paddington, the ITs are just no. It's just a big no. HST should have stayed. So that's a big letdown for me. I mean, I can't really say much more than that, to be honest. I mean, they got rid of the buffet as well, and it's all trolleys. So that was a big shame as well, because the buffet was always something that I was associated with when I travelled with Great Western, whether it was FGW or with Great Western Railway. The buffet was always the best thing about going to Paddington. So I will miss that, and I'm quite disappointed it's gone. Otherwise, the only other thing I can say is their reliability is also actually quite bad. So the IETs are also extremely unreliable, and I think the unreliability has been proven more with Great Western Railway than it has on any other TOC, because as you know, IETs with Great Western break down a lot. Albie almost went on one that exploded. So Albie will tell you about that, I'm sure, in a minute. But overall, the other trains are good, and I don't have an issue with them. So overall, I'm going to give them a 7, because I do think that overall they're a good company. Okay, Albie?
Cartfest. Not a single train is in the right place. You've got the 387s, which shouldn't exist.
I forgot about them. They're good. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't exist. You got the 769s coming in, which just shouldn't exist. You got the turbos, which belong in the Thames Valley, which are now in Bristol, going down to Pompey and Cardiff. And the 158s going on pointless little jaunts up to Barnstable. Meanwhile, people around doing whatever the hell they feel like. Then you got the short set HSTs, which shouldn't be on the local diagrams. They should be on the express runs. Oh well, at least there's one good train, the sleeper. Anyway, the Hitachis, they don't belong anywhere, because they are awful carts with no buffets that always break down. Literally, I thought I'd go on in February just to get up to Heathrow Airport for a trip to Belarus, which has better trains than GWR2. And I was like, I saw one come in, and it was meant to be a 10 car, and it was like, 5 car, lol, it's broken down, lol, what a surprise. And then I saw it going off, and I was like, haha, glad I'm not on that one. And what came around the corner but yet another 5 car, because another one broken down. So I suppose I should have expected that, really. Awful trains. The sleeper is good, but I can't give them any more than like a 3 because their fleet is so shit.
Okay, so just a quick question. What was the story about the exploding train? That made you make the decision never to use them?
We went out of Paddington and it was just like, bang. I was like, oh, why?
All right, DS, you'll go. Great Western Railway.
Right, ask me a year and a half ago, and I'd said they were brilliant.
Yeah.
Ask me now, and they're okay. They're not brilliant anymore. They've just downgraded themselves. The IETs are completely unsuitable. Absolutely unsuitable for what they do. The air conditioning's too cold, the lights are too bright, the seats are too hard. There's nowhere to get a cup of coffee apart from the trolleys that come round, and you don't know how often they're going to come round.
Sometimes.
If they come round at all, I don't know anything. I don't have anything good to say about the IETs they've got. They're not suitable for the intercity journeys they had. The HSTs were brilliant for the route. They suited it. It was just perfect. HSTs on that route. Coming to the other stuff they've got Pacers. Yes, they're quite nice. I like Pacers. Reliability is okay. I've not really had a major issue. Not an issue down to Great Western anyway. It might be an issue for some other reason beyond GWR's problem. So it's a hard one for me. It's a hard one to judge. I'm going to give them 7.
Okay. DP.
Personally, I think they sit side by side with Southwestern Railway. I think before, I would have said Southwest trains were better than First Great Western, but now I find myself saying Great Western Railway are better than Southwestern Railway. It's just weird. But anyway, moving turbos to Bristol was a big mistake. There's no question about that. I think the 150s, 158s, refurbished to really high standard. I don't have a problem with that. I actually quite like the 800s. I know none of you like them, but I actually really like Hitachi. I think the Javelins are amazing, and I think they're just basically, for me, an upgraded Javelin. And I know they got rid of the buffet, but let's be honest, nowadays, buffet is not really that economical.
No, you're chatting complete shit, I'm afraid.
Yeah, lots of people use a buffet. Lots of people use a buffet.
You know, in
you
the
go on a
21st century, people,
Yeah.
it's not going to make money long term.
Yeah, but
Let's not get into the debate. Let's just let him have his opinion.
So I'm going to give them a 6.
Okay. So we're going to put GWR in great because the majority of us said it. They belonged in a number representative of the great tier. So me and Dan said 7. DS said 7. So and there you go. Right. Up next is Heathrow Express. So, right. I've travelled with them twice, and both times the price is absolutely extortionate. And for a journey of, I can understand why they do it.
What's the company?
Oh, hang on a minute. Heathrow Express.
Kieran, are you there?
Oh no.
Kick him.
Hang on. Ah, no.
No.
Right, hello. Sorry, I lagged out again. Right, so Heathrow Express is what I'm talking about. So the 332s, for the price that they charge for Heathrow Express, I think that is probably fair enough in the way that, but it's such a big amount of money for just a 20-minute journey. It is. It's less than that. It's ridiculous. I don't think they should be ripping people off like that, because not only that, but they charge even more to sit in like business class for like 10 minutes. I really, really think that's a rip-off. So I don't like that. However, the 332s are a train that you would never have believed would have been around for as long as they have been. And Heathrow have taken great care of them and made them look like they have just come out of being delivered. So they look incredible. But they are massively overpriced, and bringing the 387s in is a terrible decision. Just joining in with Greater Anglia with the 379s and GTR, they're just joining a bandwagon. Funnily enough, you say wagons because that's what they are. So overall, I think if you'd good job the 332s are still running, and good job the 387s are testing, but the fact that they're coming in disappoints me. I'm not happy with that at all. Overall, I'm going to say 6. I'm not massively impressed, but they're okay. Albie.
Waste of paths, waste of money. Good stock being replaced with carts, which is also a waste of money. 4.
Okay, fair enough. DS.
I pretty much agree. It's well overpriced for what it is. It especially the business class where you can pay £50 just to go in business class for a 15 minutes journey from Heathrow. It's really overpriced. But it's quick. It's quicker than its competitor, the TfL Rail. It's quicker than the Underground. So it's getting tourists and business people from A to B quickly. 332, brilliant trains. I have no problem with them. 387s are going to be a bit of a downgrade, especially if they still charge the amount of money they do charge. But the reliability of the train is really good. I've never had any problems the times I've used them. So I'm going to give them a 7. I think it's fair. 7.
DP.
Yeah, they're overpriced. There's no question about that. Good for an airport train. But yeah, it's sad that they're being replaced by 387s. So I'm going to give them a 6.
So they're going great. Albie's the only one that downgraded them. So Heathrow Express in great.
6 is good.
6 is good, yes. Okay, next up. Hull trains. Right, here we go. So if you'd asked me about Hull trains when 180s were in service, I would have put them right down at the bottom because reliability was terrible. The 180s were a massive issue, and they almost had to suspend their entire service. Not that they've already done it now because of coronavirus, but they had to do it before that because their trains were basically on fire. That was really poor. The maintenance, the way they looked after them was really bad. But now it's still really bad because they've got Hitachi. So it's no better. The only reason I'm going to rate Hull trains so high is because my experience on them has always been good. I've got to rate it because they still exist, and the 180s did exist, and they were really enjoyable. So I will base it upon that, saying that when I rode on them, they were great. But reliability has always been a problem with them, which has always been something that always made the news how bad they were doing. But the fact that they're also open access makes it worse because they just lose money rapidly because of it. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm going to give them a 5 only because their reliability is good, but the journeys when they actually do, when they are reliable, when they are running properly, is actually quite nice because it's very fast, very direct, and they pretty much only go to 2 places: Hull and Beverley, and King's Cross, of course, so 3. But
yeah, to King's Cross they go, eh?
To King's Cross they go, indeed. Don't say that again.
Donny, Doncaster.
Yeah, but I'm talking about destinations, like final destinations would be Hull and Beverley. But overall, that's my opinion of Hull trains. So, Albie?
I'll be honest, I've never had any problems with Hull trains. Now I do. They had a lovely fleet, to be honest. They were pretty good, pretty reliable. Now they've been replaced with carts, which are not reliable. Also, their CEO needs to learn to spell. But because I've never used their awful cart, and my experience has with the trains, I will probably give them, accounting for the new shite, 7.
DS?
Hull trains, interesting one. Yeah, the 180s were good, but they were not suitable for that route. They were too small. The capacity on that was too small for the route. And every time I did a 180 on a Hull trains, it was full. I remember once I had to stand all the way from London to Doncaster. It was so full, and even trying to get off the train at Doncaster, you couldn't move. Excuse me. But yeah, they were pretty decent trains. It was nice when they got the HST sets in for a while, which was a very good choice of them.
Oh, that was fun. Yeah, I used that too.
That was really.
Oh yeah, the
really
HSC. I never did that, but no, I heard
Yeah.
that was a nice little addition. Yeah.
They're very unreliable though, and the new trains are absolute rubbish. So I'm going to have to give them. I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to give them a 6.
Okay, DP.
Yeah, I think they're very reliable. I think the 802s are an upgrade from the 180s, purely because of the capacity, and they're going to be much more reliable for the route. See the Hitachi. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I don't have a problem with whole trains, so I'm going to give them an 8.
8. So they're going good. So a lot of people are going to think that's controversial that whole trains go below GWR, but for us, GWR, well, for some people, GWR had more than what whole trains had, obviously. So there you go.
They have stuff with trains.
Yeah, they do. Next up, Island Line. Right. Never travelled on them, so I'm going to leave my opinion out of this. Albie, have you travelled with them?
Yes.
What did you think?
Just kind of exists, but like unlike all the others. Well, it depends at what perspective you're looking at. I mean, from an enthusiast perspective, an absolute blast. From a usability perspective, I'm not so sure. So I'll just say, because it's kind of cool, 7.
Okay. Yeah, they're brand of Southwestern Railway as well. Yeah, they are. DS?
They're brilliant. Absolutely love Island Line. Always on time. The trains are old tube stock, the 38 stock, or now known as the 483. Brilliant. They give some character. You go to the island and you expect to go on an old underground train or an old train. Yeah, I really do like the trains. Unfortunately, they are getting on a bit, and to get parts for them is a big downside. And there's only like one set that's running now, and that's 1 2-car set. I don't think the other set's fixed yet. So that is it is a shame, but they have new trains coming soon, hopefully. The D train, which hopefully again will live up to the expectations of the 38 stock, the 483s. I'm going to give them a 10.
Okay, and DP.
I've never travelled on Island Line, so I can't really say much. Although I do think the D trains will be a big upgrade. So I think
Okay.
good.
So I didn't give my opinion on them, but I will just say, from looking at them, they seem pretty reliable. But I don't really want to put a number on it because I haven't travelled with them. So, Albie, what did you say in terms of like number 7? Did you say, or did you say something else?
I think I said 7.
So 7 and 10. Okay. I will give a number then, just to add that, because DP, didn't you say a number or not?
No, I haven't been on them, no.
Okay, right. I'm going to just say for the reliability. I mean, yeah, the stock's getting on. The route itself is very basic. Going over to Shanklin and Ryde, it's quite good to drive from train sim, but that's kind of irrelevant. But still, the livery's quite nice. I think the D stock will be an improvement because there'll be more reliability. So I'll probably just go with Albie and give them an 8, 7 even, not an 8, 7. So put them in great. Right, we haven't got too many left, which is good. Next up is West Midlands Railway, so the other brand of West Midlands trains. So they've got more of the diesel stock. So this is the brand that I like more. So WMR have a lot of good route coverage. Their main hub is Birmingham, New Street, so that's and Snow Hill actually, I'd say. But no, they're so I'll quickly run through. I think their interior, the new one, is actually quite nice and very, very good. It's the ex-London Midland stock is also good though, so I don't have an issue. It's very colourful either way. The trains themselves, the 170s, absolutely fantastic. Both in London Midland livery and the actual WMR livery, covering, going as far and being as reliable as they were, going over to Shrewsbury, going over to Hereford, going over to Rugeley when they did. Very good indeed, I thought. And they also did the little hidden Gloucester train, didn't they? They used to anyway. That was London Midland, I think. 172s are pretty much the reason I don't like them, because although the Electrostar-like looking ones are, so the -2s, the /2s and the /3s are actually quite nice and they sound good. When you sit on them, they're really rickety and they're not very well maintained, in my opinion. They do have some problems. The starboard shuttle's quite funny. So that's always a little humorous bit to them. I'd also say that their 153s are also good that they kept them, to be honest. And also the new 172s, they've got the Overground stock. That was good that they brought them in. So overall, though, the route coverage is good. They've never let me down. The 172s have just been a bit of an uncomfortable ride. So I'll give them an 8 because I do think that they're quite good. Albie?
Who's this?
West Midlands Railway, of a brand.
Whatever I said for the other one, I think I said 6 because, well, it just kind of exists. And it's not great. 172s, as you said, are kind of carty. But, yeah. Also, I don't want to be stabbed by Hassan.
Okay. DS?
Hassan.
So who are we on? West Midlands.
West Midlands Railway, yeah.
Okie dokie. I've never had a problem with them. I love the starboard shuttle. I love the 323s.
I forgot about them. I don't like them though, so it's okay.
Oh no, they're lovely. I love the motors on the 323 are really nice. I do like the motors on the 323. They're quite unreliable at times, but that's just the bottleneck going through Birmingham. Overall, I think they're a good company. They're not the worst, so I'm going to give them an 8.
Okay, and DP. Lastly, quickly, because we're
8.
Yeah, DP. I mean,
Baby died.
Oh no!
8.
Here we go again. Hang on a minute. An 8. An 8. Thank you, DS. DP.
Yeah, I do like West Midlands Railway. They've got good fleets, mainly diesel. 170s are brilliant. I agree, 172s aren't as comfortable. I think it was a bit disappointing that West Midlands Trains decided to sort of sub-brand both companies. It just makes it more confusing, a bit unnecessary, really. I think better that one brand like London Midland. I'm going to give them an 8, actually. I think they're pretty good.
So they go up into great. So there you go. Right. Up next is London Overground. Okay. So London Overground for me. Right. Okay. So I'm going to make a certain someone on this chat who's probably watching very, very angry because I don't like the 710s. I think that they're a horrible looking mess. They were delayed. That's the first thing, that they were delayed. And the Overground were having to make loads of changes with their stock because of the fact that the 710s were delayed. So they had to move around their 378s to do Gospel Oak to Barking as well. So yeah, it was a 4-car. It was a bit bonkers. So when London Overground had the 172s, that was the most unique thing in London, in my opinion, because it was a suburban London route, a TfL train with a diesel engine, which I thought was quite unique, and I thought it was quite cool that they had them. The 378s for me don't do much for me in terms of when you sit on them, you ride on them. It kind of feels like you're on the underground. I guess that's the London feeling. I guess that's what the commute would always feel like. So no, I think they're good for what they do. I don't have any quarrel with the 378s themselves. But the only issue I have is with the 710s and how delayed they were at the beginning. So overall, and barring the fact, and adding the fact, that they do a lot of route coverage out to Highbury and Islington, out to Watford, over to Clapham, Stratford, and Richmond as well. So they do a lot of coverage actually for what they do. So the 378. So I'm going to give them a 9 because I don't have, the only issue I've got. Actually, no. Let me downgrade that to an 8 because I don't think the 710s were a great move, especially when they were delayed. So it's going to be 8 for me. Albie?
Yeah, I'll say 8. It's a metro service. What more can you ask for? It does its job. It exists again. However, I do have to duck mucks for those absolute carts, 710s. They're very bad. They shouldn't have been ordered. They should have ordered from a reputable company that builds their trains abroad because they know what they're doing. So yeah, 8.
Okay, DS.
Well, I'm judging Overground here, or even London Rail, whatever you want to put it. The routes are brilliant because for London, they're not exciting, they're boring routes, but they're brilliant in the sense that they've connected so many places that weren't connected easily before. And now you can go round London in one big loop via Overground, opening disused lines like this, for instance, the Surrey Quays down to Queen's Road, Peckham. That used to be a railway line. They've put a new track there and reopened it. They've got smart trains, I would say, clean trains, not necessarily comfortable trains, but again, you're only going to be on the train a short period. They don't expect people to be on that train from Clapham Junction all the way round to, let's say,
Stratford.
Northwestern Junction or something like that. They expect you to go a couple of stops. Yeah, the new trains aren't great. They're okay. The 710s, they're okay. Yeah, so for the purpose, it's serving to London, and I'm going to give them a 9.
A 9. Okay, and DP.
Right. I made a big mistake when I went to London. Basically, I was at Watford and I jumped on a Southern 377. That
What?
took me
GTR
to
377, just for clarity.
Yeah, that took me to Wembley Central, and then I was going to Euston, so my only option was to jump on a London Overground 378, and boy, it was boring and uncomfortable, and it was disappointing. But that was just my mistake, really. I should jump on a 350 at Watford, but yeah, I wasn't very excited by London Overground. So, but they are a good company. They do what they do very well. So, I'm going to give them a 7.
Okay, cool. Right, up next. So we put them in. So I think I gave them an 8. Albie gave them an 8. So yeah, they're going great as well. Wow, a lot of great ones. Okay, so moving on to Northern. Oh no. Right, okay. Northern. What a diabolical company. Right, where do we start? Strike action. What an awful, awful time it must have been for everyone living up north, especially because of how extensive that network is. Northern are probably one of the worst companies in the UK in terms of train operation. They are extremely unreliable. Their stock is massively dated. They have a lot of issues with that. They have a lot of issues with strike action. They have the only good side to it is they brought the 195s and the 331s in. Obviously, Civity units, which actually are really nice. There's so much stock that needs working on, like the Dash 1s that have been brought in, the Dash 0s as well from GWR, the 158s that look really ugly and dusty, the Pacers as well, and not to mention the 333s, which as well need an upgrade, are getting an upgrade, which is good. And the only other thing I would probably say is the 319s, because some of them are also very dusty. Northern, though, the strike action really, really got to me when I saw it, because it was just so ridiculous how long it lasted, where they must have coincided with other companies with strike action as well. It was an awful time. And they do good advances, like DS has just said, on some routes, but overall they're a pretty shambolic company. So in my opinion, I'm going to give them a 1 because they are an overall. Actually, no. For the purpose that they actually have good Civity units, I'm going to bump that up to a 3. So I'm going to put them in poor because I think that nothing's in poor at the moment. That's not the reason why, but the reason why is just because of my reasons, like I've said. But Northern are just not good. Albie? I think I've lost again. Did you hear any of that?
No.
Okay, well, I said I put them in 3. I said they were really bad.
Okay, so it's my turn.
Yes, it is your turn.
Well, so obviously they have a lot of problems, but I never had any problems. New stock, fantastic. Old stock, 150s are not good. 319s are not good. Some of the paces were fun, but not great. 333s, love them. I need to summarise. I'll give them a 4 because they keep messing around with fares like TP do, and they should probably stop that. Also, they have a lot of penalty fakes. I'm going to move them down to 3 because that is not okay. There we
Okay.
go. Done.
DS.
Okay. I'm going to start off with the strike action. The strike action was for a very good reason. The unions were only strike if it's a good reason, and it was for the safety on board the train. So I'm fully behind the strike. Yes, it's going to be an inconvenience, but that's the whole point of a strike. Get the inconvenience done. So the companies will be like, okay, here we go. They're not going to play ball here. And once the two companies meet and eventually decide on a thing, then fine. So I'm fully behind the strike. I know some people might hate me for that, but hey ho, you get delayed. You're not. It's not like it's all of a sudden. You are warned, and you can plan other journeys. For the stock, 142s, brilliant, love them. Can't go wrong with a pacer. 158's a bit boring. Don't like 195s, but I do like the electric ones, the 331s, and 333s. Is it?
333s, yeah. Do you mean the 195s are the diesel ones, but the 331s are the Civity units? 333s are like the 332s.
Sorry, I'm not. Yeah. Reliability is not great, but not brilliant. Sorry, not bad, not great. In the middle, I'm going to give them a 6.
All right, and lastly, DP.
Right, so the only time I've been on Northern when I was travelling from Sheffield to Hull, and that was on a 150-1, and that was not great, I have to say. It was unrefurbished, incredibly noisy. It gave me a headache, I have to say. Seats are very uncomfortable. And when I came back, it was a unrefurbished ScotRail 158, and that was pretty disappointing. Well, a bit unprofessional there. They've got basically too many units to handle.
If only they had
It's
fewer.
all over the place.
Yeah.
So for me, it's probably a 4. It's
Okay.
Awful, but yeah.
So, Albie, where did you put them in terms of like?
I said 3.
Okay, so they're probably going to stick around. They're probably going to stick in poor then, to be honest. Because although, I would say poor. Yeah, majority said poor. Okay, so next up is Northern Ireland Railways. Okay, right, I've travelled with them. Northern Ireland Railways. They're actually quite nice. Their overall experience on board is really nice. There's no major issues with that company. When I travelled through Northern Ireland, when I did, they were always on time. They never were late. The route coverage, like I say, is fantastic. I mean, basically, Northern Ireland Railways, I believe the Enterprise falls under that as well. And that is also a very nice train, although albeit X373 carriages, basically designed off of that model. That was a bit but you know. Overall, though, NIR are a really enjoyable route, although the routes do drag a bit, like going over to Derry, going over to where is it, Lisburn, and towards that way, Newry. But then again, they don't really go there. Yeah, not bad at all. So I'm going to give them. I'd say they're 10 out of 10. Really, I think I don't have any quarrel with them. Albie.
Perfect 10. They get the job done. Cheap as fuck. Trains are nice. That's
Brilliant.
it.
Okay, DS.
Yep. I'm going to give them a 10 as well. No problems with them. Brilliant service. Slightly wider train. So if you've never been to Ireland before, the gauge is different in Ireland.
Yeah.
It's a 5'5" gauge, so it's a foot more than you get here. Yeah, the trains are brilliant. They share the enterprise with Irish Rail, so yeah, they're brilliant trains. The enterprise, very comfortable seat. Yeah, good breakfast if you want. If you're going to the premium area as such. Yeah, so no problems. 10 out of 10. Yeah. What can I say?
Okay. And DP, do you have a view on them or not?
I haven't been on them, so I can't say no.
Okay, so they go up in amazing as they've always got the job done.
Makes sense.
Right, now on to another country's trains. Scotland, ScotRail. Right. Okay, so again, a mixed bag with them. So the HSTs, I've heard are quite a big disappointment with ScotRail because of the interiors and stuff. So that's one thing. ScotRail overall, right, the 385s were delayed. They are good trains, and I do think that they do get the job done really, really well. ScotRail overall, I don't think are massively reliable when it comes to things like routes that aren't served very frequently. So things like Wick, Kyle of Lacouche, Mallaig, even Inverness, if you like. Those sorts of places, if a train gets cancelled, you are buggered. If you miss a connection, you are buggered. You have to get a bus. And even if it's a valid connection. The massive risk is the Wick one, where you go back from Wick, you go to Inverness, you change, you have to then go back to Glasgow, but you have like 5 minutes, and it is such a tight connection that if you miss it, you're screwed. The company themselves, the Saltire livery is a massive improvement from ScotRail Barbie, first ScotRail Barbie. When Barbie was there, oh god, the Haymarket 158s, ugh. Still not good now though, to be fair. The only downside I would say is probably the things like the 320s, which have basic interiors, but things like the 318s, quite old rickety stock. Glad the 314s are gone. Goodness me, they were bad. Yeah, 380s, they're good, they're enjoyable. Used to use them a lot, so yeah. I'd probably say for ScotRail. And other things like the 170s and the 156s, again, really good trains, good livery, suit the job well. 334 is exactly the same, albeit they do a lot of suburban stuff. So overall, I'm going to give them an 8 because I do think that they do get the job done very well. Albie?
Yeah, 8. No, I'd say 8 as well because, to be honest, they're pretty good. You know, you have problems with the 385s, but they're not like absolute carts. They're just like semi-carts, maybe just like cat because they're usable. HST's nice, really. 314s, glad they're gone. They're shit. 320s, 380s, nah, not really that good. But the
380s, when they had them 365, that was nice.
Yeah, no, agreed.
HST, blah, 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 blah. Also, the 365s was really good impulse decision. I'm glad they did that. So I'll say 8. Good stuff all around. Also,
Good.
They gave me a funny smart card, which we won't talk about, but if you know, you know.
Okay. DS?
Sorry. Sorry, I love ScotRail. Absolutely love ScotRail. They've got good, decent trains. They've got decent routes. Some of the routes are so scenic. I know what you're saying about the connections, but I've never had a problem. They've always held the train. It was the last train, and all TOCs have a responsibility to get you to your destination. So if you miss the last connection, they have to provide you a taxi or some form of way of getting to your destination. If it's holding the train by 10 minutes or getting you there. So I'm never worried about the connections because I know that I'll be getting back no matter what. Though it be maybe don't be later than I expected, but I'll still get back. Wick is an example where it's quite boring route, but really nice and scenic because of the speed restrictions. It's 20 mile an hour limit all the way, pretty much. You could go by car and you could do it 2 hours quicker. That's how slow the line is, but it's fantastic. HST's brilliant. Obviously, they had a few teething troubles because they hit breaking down, but the HSTs are brilliant. 385s, absolutely love. 334s, really nice trains. Yeah, I just love ScotRail. They're going to be a 10.
And DP?
I said I don't have much experience with ScotRail, although the 380s are good. I'm really pleased to bring the HSTs, the Interseven City. They look really nice. So I'm going to put them in great. So
Okay.
that's 7 for me.
All right. So I said they were number 8. So Albie, what did you put them in? 8 or 10 or?
I think it was 8. Can't remember.
So we'll put them in great as well then. There they go. Right, up next. Right, here we go. Southwestern Railway. Okay.
Hey, my local company.
Yes, right. Where do we start with them? What a terrible company, honestly. The worst company in the UK. They're literally just below Northern. They are downright the worst. For a number of reasons. The livery, for a start. Corporate livery. What for? Literally, it's corporate for a route that takes you on holiday. Literally. It's and then we get started with the strike action. Their strike action was undoubtedly the worst strike action I've ever seen on any train operating company ever. And that's saying worse because GTR Green were on strike and so were Northern. Southwestern Railway are the most unreliable train operating company in the entire UK. They've always let people down. They've always been cancelled. Their trains are poorly maintained. The 442s are probably they've been taken out of service twice. Let's just say that. And the 444s, they're the good thing about them. The 159s are massively unreliable when it comes to train crew and when it gets to Salisbury, it gets cancelled. I've been cancelled on them many times. I just don't like them. And I've had past experience with them, and I always have problems with them. So for that reason, I'm going to give them a 1. They are the worst company in the UK. Albie?
These cowboys are on drugs. Basically, no, they don't give a fuck at all. You try and travel with them, and they say, nah, not a problem, walk. That actually happened. One time I went to London, came back, the train was removed from the timetable, replaced with a bus that didn't stop, so they just basically said, make your own way. Didn't reimburse me until I fought for about 2 months. Utter cowboys. Even now, my local station doesn't have a train service. Why? No reason. When's it going to come back? Nobody knows. Useless. As for stock, well, livery, it's utterly dire. To quote you, corporate livery, what for? Beautiful line.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a corporate livery for taking you on holiday. That's literally what it is.
Absolutely ridiculous. But, yeah. So, the stock, okay, 159 is fantastic. 445, 456, 158, whatever, blah, 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 blah. All that stuff, great. 448s, love it. 442s, utterly dire, falling apart, complete junk. Awful machines, withdrawn twice. Why? What for? What for? Why get them? Awful machines. Can't wait for them to set on fire again. It will happen.
Oh dear.
What else was there?
West of England main line.
I saw the new stock. I've seen the new stock in person. Ugly. It'll be crap as well. Carts. So 0.
So 1. Okay. DS.
I don't mind Southwestern Railway. Obviously, as you know from Northern, I back up the strike action. The strike action was there to fight for something that was a safety, what they were trying to get rid of. So, yeah, I do believe in the strike action. I don't know what to say about them, really. They're okay. Some of your points are very valid. I do agree with some of your points that you made. Yeah, okay. Albie, for your station, as you said, there's no trains at the moment. Obviously, with what's going on now, there are going to be certain stations that are not going to be served. And
Pinot's never served anyway.
It's a lovely kick in the teeth for all the people who have to use a train. Like, wow, thanks so much, key workers. And then they clap, and then they're like, yeah, but what if you have to?
You're not mentioning it.
What if you have to?
But then you drive to the station where the trains is served.
But what if? No, you're missing the point. What if you can't? What if you have to?
But you would live somewhere obscure like that.
Let's move. Carry on, Dan. Anyway,
I'm going to get 6.
6. Okay, DP.
6.
Right, your local company. So go on, fire away.
Right. I'm actually quite impressed with Southwestern Railway. I know this is very controversial, and many people will disagree. Valid. But I think they've made quite a few improvements. I think they got really good rolling. The zeros are amazing. 159, really good. Really. Yes. So obviously the zeros refurbished. Really good. The strike action, I think, does let them down a bit. I don't think it was very fair, to say the least. I do have a bit of sympathy for Southwestern Railway. I think Southwest trains. So I'm going to give them, and this is going to be very controversial, an 8.
Okay, well, it's a good job they're in trash then, isn't it?
If I was travelling from Southampton to Basingstown and I had the option of taking a Voyager or a 444 any day, can't argue with that. Anything is better than CrossCountry. I do not know why CrossCountry is great. So I think it's fair to say Southwestern Railway, poor or good for me.
Okay, right. Next up then. So we put it in trash because me and Albie agree with that. And that's the majority. So, right, Dan, you might want to keep yourself zipped for this one. I don't know. Southeastern. Okay. It's up to you.
I can. It's fine.
All right. I'll start. I actually like them. I don't have a problem with Southeastern. Very good Gavia company, considering Gavia have had a massive amount of diabolical companies and brands. But Southeastern's one of those that has always pretty much been never let you down, really. The 375s, yeah, could do with an upgrade. Very dusty at points. Not got any plug sockets. That's a massive disappointment considering the route they do. So yeah, not very good on that. The 465 networkers, they're actually really nice. They're very dated though, but considering their age and considering what they do, they're fairly reliable too. The 376s, they're probably the worst trains on Southeastern's network. They're just really poor and basic. And the 395s, they're my favourites on the Southeastern network because they are very premium, very fast, very enjoyable, and only enjoyable though if you get as far as Ashford. As soon as you go beyond there, it's stop, and it gets a bit boring. So, but otherwise, yeah, brilliant company. So I'm going to give them a 9. I think they're really good. Albie.
Don't really like the staff.
Wait.
No, I take it back. It was just a meme. Yeah, to be honest, probably one of the London firms who aren't complete cowboys, despite their associations and their weird stat. No, I'm joking. Relatively decent stock, the best of the Hitachi's, considering the 800s are, as we know, objectively shite. Networkers, dusty, dingy, horrible, but still alright, I guess. So I would probably say 8.
8, okay. And okay, right. DS, this is up to you.
10. Of course. Now I'm just going to point out some of the facts that you said. The 375s, they are planned to get a refurbishment, an updated.
Again.
So they're going to have power sockets added to them. Obviously, with COVID-19, who knows what's going to happen because how long it's going to take. We are getting some new trains, the Southwestern ones. They've been confirmed now. But yeah, they're a good company. We pride ourselves on making everyone's journey that bit extra. Our trains are pretty reliable. We don't have many delays. We are who we are.
Okay. 10. And DP.
Yeah, I think Southeastern's pretty good. I mean, Hitachi's brilliant. The Javelins, the commuter-based units are also pretty good, but some of them are a bit tired. So I'm going to put them in good, actually, because something that I know. I mean, the javelins make Southeastern stand out. If it wasn't for the javelin, they would be good. But because they got those,
I have to agree there.
they should be
I
great.
think that's one of our best trains, Javelin.
I
do like
agree.
Yeah.
Well, they've gone up into amazing because most of us have agreed they belong there, so that's good. So up to the top tier, Southeastern go. Very good news, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next up. Right. GTR brand number 3. This one is Southern. So, here we go. Another one to rant about. Right. Albie will probably just say they're 0, so we might as well just say that right now. But I'll say my view. So another one that I thought at first were pretty unreliable. The strike action was, again, DS will probably back it up. But the trains and the service they provided at the time was pretty shoddy. They had short form services everywhere. They had cancelled trains, overcrowding, especially when you're going through somewhere like Gatwick Airport. That is ridiculous, doing that. So, yeah, bad move all around for there. So the thing I like about them, though, is that they've improved since then. And I think that they're probably one of the better GTR ones, in my opinion, because they are, although they're part of the whole ticketing fraud problem that Albie knows about and we all know about, it was just a case maybe of I don't know. It's just a case of maybe they had a really bad time. They got better. The 171s, by the way, incredible trains. They're really nice, but the capacity is a bit poor. But they're going. But who knows what they're going to be replaced with? That'll be interesting. So yeah, overall, I'm only going to give them a 7 because I don't think they're the worst GTR brand at all. So let's have a look. Albie, just say it. Go on.
Yes, I'm going to give them a 0 because they're cowboys. They don't understand the routing guide either. They tried to give me a penalty fare when what they were really looking to give me was a fucking taxi. That's the end of it, really.
DS?
Southern, yeah, I don't mind Southern. It's fine. They do the job. Yeah, I'd rather use Gatwick Express, though. I'm going down to Brighton or something like that. 313s, though. 313s and 171s, brilliant trains. I'm going to give them an 8.
Brilliant. Okay. So overall, DP. Sorry, I forgot about you. Go on.
Yeah. I think Southern have improved. I think that is something very similar to Southwestern Railway in terms of strike action we had. In terms of rolling stock, I'm a bit more disappointing than Southwestern. I think the 377s are pretty hopeless units, I have to say. When I think of a 377, I think of Greece. I don't know why, but it's just really unclean and just not very nice to ride on, really. The 171s aren't too bad, but yeah, they have improved. Their stations have been painted to quite high quality, so I quite like the stations actually, but yeah, they're poor, really.
Okay, so poor. Okay, so I think we're going to put them up in great because that's probably where me and Dan of DS have put them. So there they go. They're the highest GTR ranked one so far. We've got one more left, but we'll come to that in a minute because up next is TfL Rail. Okay, we've got 5 more, so let's get through them quickly. TfL Rail. They, again, are a company that, to me, is a very mixed bag because the 345s are a good addition. They are good for what they do. They even go as far as Reading. What a brilliant introduction that was to even ease the pressure off the GWR 387s. So that's a good initiative. I like that. They also do Shenfield, which is good as well. And they're so frequent. But this is the bit. Speaking of Shenfield, let's talk about the rickety and very bad 315s. I think that they are they're probably the downside to TfL Rail, for me, honest with you. I don't think they're bad though. Like, I think the 315s look good in that livery. You can tell that that's the general thing of London, where the old rail stock seems to be frequenting everywhere. I think they suit the livery, that's the good bit, but the interior just absolutely not. So overall for me, TfL Rail sits at a 6 for me. Albie.
Metro service again. 345s are carts. 315s are bad. 360s are nice. Also, they have a really cool driver who I know. He's a nice guy.
I forgot about the 360s. Yeah, no, I like them too. Heathrow.
Do you like the driver? Do you like the driver we know?
There's a driver, you know?
We know.
Don't know.
Sam.
Don't know.
Oh, okay. I'll give him an 8 because I don't want him to stab me either.
Okay, and DS.
PM.
Huh? Oh yeah,
TfL
PM.
Rail, well, it does what it says really. 315s were nice. I do enjoy the 315s. 345s a bit meh. It's a commuter train. They're a bit meh, but hey ho, it does the job. They're pretty reliable. I'll give them a 9.
Okay, and DP quickly, so we can move on to the last few.
Yeah. 360s. One was pretty dirty, to be honest. But I guess they're moving on now. 345s I quite like. 313s.
315s. 315s.
315s, sorry. Yeah, good tier for me. 5.
Okay, so we're going to put them in good because mostly we've said that. Okay. Albie, where did you put TfL Rail?
That was quite nice. I said 8.
You said 8. And Dan, where did you put them? DS, where did you put them?
I can't remember what I said. I think I said a 9.
I think you said 9, yeah. And then me and DP put them in good. Okay, so they're going in the middle. Okay, next up is Transport for Wales. So we've got 4 left. TFW are going to be an interesting company when they get all their new stock in, if I'm being honest with you. What they've got now, though, I'll quickly run through. The Pacers need to go, if I'm being honest with you. They're not suited to what they do. The Valleys are a very long distance coverage of track, so I don't like the fact that Pacers are allocated to do it. The 150s, yes, absolutely fine. They've got tables, much better experience, albeit they are now getting refurbished with PRM mods and everything, which is even better, so they can run with Pacers. The 158s, the ATW one, it's got plug sockets. That's quite unique for them, actually. TFW livery, pretty much through all the trains, is very basic, so it's not my favourite. It just looks very Greater Anglia, so hence why they probably got the 170s. 175s, probably my least favourite of all the trains they've got, because they are very unreliable, and the route coverage they do and the capacity is pretty bad, especially if you're going towards Manchester with a 2-car 175. Pretty shoddy, if I'm being honest with you. The dog boxes, good for what they do, like the little routes they do, like Corriton. What else do they do? They've done like they strengthen other trains as well. They've done Shrewsbury to Crewe. They do the Heart of Wales, which is probably suitable for them in a way, because they stop at loads of tiny places, although they could do 150 to be fair. Overall though, they've got a lovely set of lines, like the Mid Wales, Heart of Wales, North Wales Coast. Overall 7. Not bad at all. Albie?
Yeah, I don't really care about them, to be honest. I mean, it's alright, isn't it? The new long distance stock is going to have 800 seats apparently. Why? What's wrong with the original ones on that platform of train? Whatever. I'm not going to give them a good score because of that, so I think I'll cap it at 6, but at least they got Stadlers. Actually, no, I'll go for 7, because Stadlers are cool. And so are the underground things.
Okay.
And the Mark 3s and the Mark 4s.
Cool.
Which are Mark 4s now.
Right. DS, Transport for Wales, go.
Well, they're there.
Yes, they are there, like everyone else is, yes.
They're there. 37s were a good idea, and the Pacers are okay. The Hippos are a bit, seats are a bit on them. So yeah, I'm going to go 7.
And DP?
Which 7?
They're a little bit substandard, but I find the livery very dull. I don't like the Transport for Wales livery at all, to be honest. But they got nice scenic routes, variety of trains, lots of variety. I agree with you. The Pacers need to go.
Yeah, I've just realised that actually, guys. What do you think of the 67? I forgot about that. The loco horde.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Never done it.
the
Actually,
wag,
haven't
the
done it.
wag I've never done, so I don't want to pass view on it. But DS, if you've done it, what do you think? That's good, isn't it?
Brilliant. Yeah, both of them.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
the dining train, everyone's called it, the Gerald of Wales. So overall, so we're going to put it in great because I think that's what most people said. Right, 3 left. Last GTR brand, Thameslink. In my opinion, probably the best out of them all. Probably because of the 700s and the route coverage. The 700s are actually fantastic trains. The seating is brilliant. They've got great facilities. All right, Dan, calm down. DS, calm down. Right, the 700. Let me start again. The 700s are good trains. I like them purely because the seating is good. They've got good facilities. Their coverage is they're pretty reliable, although they do have a few cancellations due to a few faults, so that's a big letdown. But the way they look, the way they run, the coverage they do, like to Peterborough, to Horsham, to Littlehampton, to Brighton, to Bedford, to Cambridge, it's incredible. London King's Cross as well. So they do a lot for what they do, and they've got a lot of routes to cover it, which I'm really, really impressed by. The livery's very basic, though, which I'm disappointed by, and the logo doesn't do much for me. So I'm going to give them an 8, in my opinion. I think that they belong on the same level as Southern, but in my opinion are better. Because in the sense that I think that there are some aspects of it that are better. Albie?
Terrible company. 700s are great. 2.
Okay. DS.
Well, I'm a frequent traveller to Thameslink, going into work from my local station. They're okay. The 700s are okay. I can't say much more than that. The first class seating is definitely better. So it's always nice to get in the D class part of the 700. Yes, it's a nice idea to have one train rather than multiple trains, so they can keep maintenance on the one. The routes, I think, are a bit ambitious because you've got routes that are going from one end of the country to another. If there's one delay on that train, that's a whole train being delayed. And if there's one driver not able to take over, they have to cancel the train halfway through. So I think it's a bit ambitious doing like Bedford to Luton. Bedford to Luton, Raynham to Luton, and Brighton to Cambridge, and that. I don't think they should have done that. I think that was a bad decision, but it was nice that they opened up the canal tunnel again.
Yeah, that was good. That was definitely good.
I do miss the 319s on Thameslink. I must admit, growing up with 319s on Thameslink, it was brilliant. I just loved the sound of 319s going through the core and down the Brighton main line. It's a hard one for me because I like them and they've got ups and downs. Let's go for an 8.
Okay.
8.
DP?
Let's go for 8.
Yeah, Thameslink definitely one of the better brands of GTR. Declassified first class is a bonus, although it is a bit pointless though. Why would you want to pay for a first class ticket? I don't know. I do like the 700s. They are nice trains, very well built. So yeah, 7 for me, Thameslink.
Okay, so they're going to go in great as well then. Okay. Right, 2 left. Chiltern Railways. Okay. Probably the most reliable. They've won the Golden Spanner for 5 years in a row. That explains it all, how good they are. They're the most reliable company in the entire UK purely because they do the job. The staff are great. They're really nice. I should know, filming at London Marylebone many times, going in to sign in, they're really nice people. The fact that Marylebone is completely managed by them as well is even better. It's such a lovely old station. But Chiltern themselves have some great stock. The silver livery they have, the Bullet the Bullet 168s that look like very unique. The Terror Star-like ones, the 172s are a nice little hidden edition if you go look for them. The 165s are great, and of course we've got the lovely 68s. Can't forget them, how amazing they are. Chiltern for me are an absolute 10 out of 10 company. I don't have any issue with them whatsoever. Interior with them is fantastic. They give great route coverage, and they've always been reliable, never caused me a problem. So for me, Chiltern Railways, 10 out of 10. Albie?
I'll say 9. The 165s are kind of and that's it, really. There's another thing I really wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was. No catering. That's a bad show. 8, actually.
Okay, DS.
Sorry, pardon me. Yeah, Chiltern, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Just how a company should run. Most of their trains have comfortable seats. Yet the 165s might not have the comfortable seat, but you're only on it again for a short period of time, so seating is not that great a deal. The 68s, obviously, the 67s when they were here, 67, 68, brilliant idea, completely suited for the route. Yeah, as Albie said, no catering, slight downside, but their intercity route is only an hour and a half on average, so it's not that bad compared to Great Western Railways, where you could be on it for 5-6 hours. And you do have some very good outlets at Chiltern railway stations. So yeah, I really do like Chiltern. I really do like Chiltern. It's my preferred route to Birmingham if I have time to go that way. Definitely going to be a 10.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so 10 out of 10 for Chiltern Railways. Okay, one more.
Oh yeah, 10 for me as well.
10. Oh, sorry, DP. Keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah,
What do you like
love
about them?
Chiltern. Yeah, all the memories I have with them, with my grandma. My grandma always used to take me out on Chiltern, and the fact they own London Marylebone says it all, really. Fantastic company.
Yeah,
And,
correct.
10 for me.
So the last one we've got is Eurostar. So I'm going to speak from how I've filmed them. I'm not going to speak from how I've been on their trains. So from what I've seen of them, they are fantastic. The only downside is the 373s. The upside is the 374s. So they're very 50-50 on that. I do think they should be dropping the 373s now, because they are getting to the point where they're getting very, very worn out. They were always very poor. The facilities were very bad. When I go into Europe, hopefully next year, when things are calmer with COVID and everything, I'm hoping to not get on one of them and get on a 374 to go across, to go through the tunnel, to get my new experience of Eurostar out the way. But because I'd love to do it, but I'd love to do it on a 374 and not on that hunk of junk. So for me, 9, just because of the 373. Albie.
So with Eurostar,
Pass, Albie.
Albie, go on.
The point is, it's more of a sentimental value than an actual quality value. The reason being because they are the beginning of every single fantastic European adventure. So, I mean, sure, the company has their problems. For a start, they're owned by SNCF. Oh, God. A recipe for disaster straight from the beginning. Bum buddies with Thales, all the same operations. Just slightly better, thankfully, because they have to compete a bit more with flying. But yeah, very, very poor in that regard. The train's absolutely fantastic. Recline in second class, as there should be. The only UK train to do that. They should all do it, really, if it's a long journey, but nope, obviously not. They actually have proper food service. It's only a buffet, so not a meal, not a restaurant, but SNCF probably caused that, so you can thank them for that. But I mean, the fact that the whole ass concept is just absolutely incredible. I mean, I'm sure soon we'll have trains to Germany, which will be absolutely amazing, and I look forward to that very much.
Indeed.
So, despite their pitfalls, the pure sentimental value and the whole novelty of the experience, I have to give them a 10. Another bad side, of course, is the TMSD fleet, which is utterly useless, breaking down left, right, and centre. The 373s are terrible, terrible trains, and the only people who disagree are Dan Sullivan and a few people who have never been on them. Which is, makes a lot of sense.
Speaking of Dan Sullivan, your turn.
I'll unmute him.
Guess where this is going here? Yes. Now, I've travelled on Eurostar for many years, and I've done so many trips for Eurostar, I've lost count. Coming back from a school trip, we went on Eurostar, and it took probably, 10 plus years ago. So, having travelled on Eurostar, I've got very good experience. And the 373 is perfect. You have to remember the age of the train and when it was built. It was built in the 80s, 90s. It was brilliant.
Oh, God.
It's comfortable. I do give it the downside to it was that the interior was a bit tired, a bit grey, a bit dull, but the seating was comfortable and refurbished. Even on the refurbished, the seating is good. They sound absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I really... two buffet cars. What more can you watch from a train? It's really nice. Now, the 374s, they're okay. I'm not.
Oh my God! Is this really his opinion? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, he's a
They're
deluded train
okay.
spotter.
They're okay, but the lighting is too bright. The air conditioning is too cold. The
It's dark.
seats
In fact, it's
are
dark.
quite cold. Where do I start? The toilets. It's too wobbly. You're standing in the wrong one. I had an experience. I was with a friend coming back, and we had some drinks on the table in front of us.
Was it Albie?
Wine quality. The drinks went over our lap, and we had
This
to
is
change.
a lie.
I
This
had
is
to
my
change it.
story from the TNST. You can't steal my
Why not?
story and adjust it for your.
So,
And
yeah, I did not. I do like the 374s, and I don't like the 374s, but I would much rather have a 373 any day. I'm really pleased of the new route to Amsterdam and hopefully to Germany soon. It will be amazing. It's by far the best way to go to Europe.
Yep.
The staff are amazing, especially the ones at St Pancras who always help out with the staff discount. Couldn't be more helpful. I've had a few lateness, but not normally down to Eurostar, and they have been extremely good. When I was stranded by them once, due to the customs, I got stranded at Ashford, and they paid a taxi fare for me to get to where my car was parked. So the customer service there was second to none. So I'm going to give them a 10. Still,
Can I just point out, DS, that you should check your bank account in the next 3 days because Eurostar would have paid you for that. Anyway, DP.
I assure you they haven't.
AP check general quick.
I can't. Well, I will actually. DP, on your go.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't have that much experience. I've never been on Eurostar, so I can't really say that much. Although
Okay.
I think the 374s
Yeah.
do look a lot better.
They are.
They look so much better than the older units, whatever they were. Yeah, I can't really say that much. To be honest, I've never been on.
That's brilliant. Whatever they were. Yeah, who cares? They're shit. Don't
The
worry.
373, the superior class 3.
Oh, someone mute him.
Superior to walking and swimming, maybe.
Right. Anyway, let's not get in that debate. Let's not get in that debate because we've been going on for a while now. So let's finish.
All right. I muted him.
There we go. So that is it. We've done all the TOCs of the UK. So let's review very quickly. So amazing tier. We've got the following: Merseyrail, C2C, Greater Anglia, EMR, Grand Central, GTR Great Northern, Northern Ireland Railways, Southeastern, Chiltern Railways, and Eurostar. LNER. So in Great, we've got LNER, CrossCountry. Don't agree at all. Caledonian Sleeper, London Northwestern Railway, Great Western Railway, Heathrow Express, Island Line, West Midlands Railway, London Overground, ScotRail, Transport for Wales Southern and Thameslink. Good tier, TransPennine Express, Avanti West Coast. In my opinion, they should be in great. There you go. Whole Trains and TfL Rail. Poor tier, Northern. I think it should be a tier down, but they should be. Sorry, I did say poor, didn't I? So they're in the right place. And then trash, GTR Gatwick Express and Southwestern Railway. For those who are mentioning London Underground, no, they're not featuring on this one because there will be a video on the tier list I do with light rail. So that one will be considered on that one. So that will be a different scenario. But for now, London Underground will not be featuring until we do a light rail tier list. So thank you guys for watching for the 2 hours or so you've been on. I know the tier lists do last a while, but it's nice to get into a debate and talk about everyone and go through it.
It's more of a hangout than a video.
Yeah, it is more of a hangout, and I like that because on a Friday night, it's nice to have a hangout to look forward to going to the weekend. So I hope you guys don't mind them being long. But the tier lists are really going to, realistically, only going to be the videos that are really long. So up next, tier list. Then the fourth tier list we're going to do is past train operating companies. So the ones from the past, the ones that used to operate, the ones that no longer are there, but we'll review them and we'll see what they did and what we felt was good about them when they were in operation, and then we'll rank them based on that. So thank you guys for watching, and next week you'll see the past TOCs video, probably on Friday again, so I'll see you for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great evening, and goodbye from all of us.
Bye-bye. So